right. Hi, guys. My name is Lisa. If you don't know me, you guys, most of you are probably in our business group. We are going to start doing some training every week to help grow the instruction business. I don't really love where the economy and our political scene is going, so we need to get some better firearm instructors out there, making money, making a business, running classes efficiently, profitably, safely. So we're going to just talk a little bit. I'm just going to give you a second here and just let you know who I am. If you've never taken a class from me, my name is Lisa Chow Paris. I'm in Virginia. I work directly with the NRA HQ in Fairfax. We use the range every day of the week. We've taught thousands of students. I am a training counselor. I'm an NRA training counselor. We do basic pistol, shotgun, and CCW for the NRA. My story is kind of funny. I grew up in an anti-gun house. My father wouldn't even let me have a little squirt gun when I was a kid. He is now with Jesus, so he doesn't know what I do for a living. But in 2012 and 13, I got divorced, lost my house, and lost my job in the same year. My husband, my ex, left me for an 18-year-old, moved to California. And then I lost my job. So I took some time off to get my head and my heart together. It was a pretty tough year. And one of my old bosses called me. He said, "Come work at the range with me." I said, "I've never shot a gun in my life." He's like, "It's okay. Come work at the range. We'll train you." So I'm in my interview and I load a magazine backwards. All the ammo is backwards. The assistant director makes fun of me. She says I'm not going to last. And here I am today. But after a year at the range, the local company who did all the training got in a tizzy with the range and they left. And for about a year, no business stepped in and really took over the training opportunity was there. So I can't work one day a week at the range for, $9 an hour. So I opened live fire instruction. I got training, business training, firearm instruction training, and just over the last 8 years have grown to be one of, I think I'm 13 out of 125,000 instructors. I'm number 13 for the NRA. Our classes are great. They're safe. They're affordable. We do things with as much automation as possible. And so we decided to grow and get more firearms instructors trained in the business side. There's so many firearm instructors that don't know how to even start or run a business. So we're making it as simple as possible. We're training for free. We do recommend some products and services that we use. So this is our team. We have 7 instructors and 2 interns here in Northern Virginia, Fairfax, DC, Maryland area. This is our team here. We've been doing it for a while. We really love it. So today I wanted to talk about dialing in to your target audience and who that target audience is. So I'm going to pull up a slide here. Give me a second. All right. So I see a lot of people not understanding who they're marketing to and advertising to. So I wanted just to take a little bit of time today and really narrow down who your target audience is so you can go out and reach those people directly. And so we build our brand off of the brand new firearm instructor or firearm student. So we have partnered up with multiple ranges and gun stores to find that brand new shooter. That's who we thrive off of. That is our target audience. So most of our target audience here, if you see my slide, so you want a couple things, write these things down. When you're picking out a target audience, you want to think about a couple of things. How old they are. So mine are 45 to 65 typically. Where do they live? So I was just talking to Vintage Arms. Sorry, I forgot your name.
It's Greg. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I
Greg.
could unmute myself. Yes.
All right. So Greg was telling me he services the Jewish community, right? Which is probably overflowing with people at this point. So where do they live? Greg, where do your people live? You said they live in Brooklyn?
So most of the Jewish communities in Brooklyn, but we do cover Westchester, lower Hudson Valley, New York. We have a pretty large community. Look, it's not just Jewish community. It's just the high flow of the new students are coming from the Jewish
Yeah.
community. But of course, we have the local area.
Sure.
Don't forget, New York laws are pretty crummy. So if you have a business that helps and supports customers, they come to you and the word spreads pretty fast.
Yeah. I bet. I think that's great. So when COVID happened, every person on the planet, my phone didn't stop ringing for a year. So I totally understand that. Okay, so you write these down again. How old are your target audience? And these are things you're going to have to think about. Where do they live? What activities do they do? Family, church, outdoor, political, work. What is your most common gender? So this slide is maybe a little bit old. Our gender was, I was used to say about 75% male, and now we're down to about 50-50. More women are waking up and really choosing to defend themselves and not wait for somebody else. So they're buying firearms at record pace. They're getting training. They're very responsible shooters. They're very cautious. So the women audience is a big pool to tap into. If you're like all women classes, that is a big market to get into. Okay. What's the best promotion style? Like how do you advertise to these people? Right? Where do you get them from? So we have a partnership with Cabela's down the street. It took me several years to do that, but we have a partnership with Cabela's. I teach 4 times a year there for free to their clients, so I can put my information on their counter, my flyers, all my stuff. We have relationship with other gun stores that we feed each other clients back and forth. So I send my new shooters there to buy guns. They send me their first time purchases people. So that is really great. We do a lot of word of mouth, but our best promotion style is Google Ads. And we spend I probably spend about $20 a day on Google Ads, and I advertise in a 25-mile radius of the DC metro area. So we don't go too far. It's very tailored. We get a lot of business from them. We do run Facebook ads. It's like $4 a day. It's not very much, but what that is just keeping our brand in front of people. And then the rest of it is word of mouth. I get a lot of men who have come, taken our courses, and then they send their family and their wives, their kids, their daughters. That is a big deal. We do a lot of automation. We continue to reach out to our clients and wish them a happy birthday, right? Happy New Year. All this stuff's automated. You just set it up once and it's done. We really like that. All right, now you want to think about what you're going to teach these new people, right? So I don't teach, and I know every state's different based on law, but here in Virginia, I don't teach a new student how to draw. I don't like that. I find it's unsafe. It's scary for them and for me. So we start with a basic pistol course, right? We teach NRA products. So we teach first steps and basic pistol. And once those people come in and through our classes, we do a lot of private lessons. We go class, basic class, private lesson, advanced shooting course. And it takes them, half a year to do that, but we resell our clients multiple times, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And it depends on how many private lessons they take with us too. I've had people with me for years. Years. They meet me every week for years because they say I'm cheaper than therapy, which I find that's funny, right? So you can't be all things to all people. So if you're going to do the basic student, do the basic student fully. And then once you're in it for a couple of years, we're going to then grow naturally because people are going to start asking you for advanced shooting products. I don't go out the gate. Like in some states, you have to do that. Like in Maryland, like part of their qualification is the draw. So you got to work your way up to that. So that is who our target audience is. I kind of already talked a little bit about this, but this is a big deal. How to reselling your target audience. And not just classes, but we sell them products as well. We sell them ammunition. Let me stop sharing this. Ammunition, t-shirts, hats, things like that, that draw in revenue over and over again.
How do you sell ammunition? Are you guys FFLs or are you allowed to sell? Ah, okay. So we have a full shop. I'm an FFL dealer as well, but I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. Go ahead. That's fine. So on our checkout page that we have, it has an upsell on our website, and we can put whatever we want in there. So ammunition, t-shirts, lunch, it doesn't matter. So our upsell option it draws an additional revenue for us. Good question. All right. Any questions on that? Because I'm going to start talking about, let's see, Alexander.
Yes, hi. How are you?
Hi. Hi. Just pick on you a little bit. Are you a new
all good.
instructor? Tell me where you are and where you're going.
I'm actually not a new instructor. So I've been teaching now with my company now for 4 years. I started the company, and me and my partner launched our company right at the beginning of COVID. Go figure. But I'm a retired veteran and former law enforcement officer. So I did government and a couple tours in Afghanistan, all that stuff for over 30 years.
Mhm.
And then for a few years there, my partner and I we were discussing. And a lot of the stuff that we were finding, I find it very interesting that in your book, it talks about a lot of that too. I bought your book, by the way, and read it. So a lot of that stuff also kind of resonated with us. Even he's an active duty major in the Army. He's actually stationed up there. So we discussed a lot about kind of the opportunities, and we kind of did our own little test, if you would.
Mhm.
We went out, and I'm currently in the Tampa Bay, Florida area. So I'm in the Tampa area. And we went out and just acted as customers. We just wanted to see how
Mhm.
we were going to be received in our own community
Mhm.
without walking around with Second Amendment shirts or any of that type of stuff. And the amount of treatment that we received that was negative by far outpaced anything on a positive level. It was almost like if you didn't belong to some special group, or if you didn't have some tie to something where it was some, bearded special guy who went
Mhm.
off and, fought the Taliban by
Mhm.
himself, where you weren't given that attention, that customer service that is across every other industry except ours. Ours is the only industry where people really will kick you to the curb and won't even think twice about it. And so we said, we have to change the mantra of the business. We have to look at it and say, the customer experience is the most important thing above anything, right? We understand we're in the firearms industry, we're in the firearms business, we teach. However, how you treat that person is what sets the foundation for if that person's going to buy one round or if they're going to go forth and buy their very
Mhm.
first firearm. So that was the approach to our company. And then last year, I applied and received and got my FFL. I launched my e-commerce. So I have an e-commerce online store where I sell thousands of products. And then I also travel the Florida gun show circuit down here, which is huge. And then I teach intermittently based off of the students that come to me, and we have that conversation about, hey, here's what I want to learn. And then the last piece I'll tell you, you're spot on when it comes to Google. So I had a young person earlier in the year. He said, hey, man, you got to step your Google footprint up. That's what's going on. So I took some pointers from him, and I did a lot of YouTube University, and I really looked at kind of how to really get your company in your area to be at the top. So when people search you, you come up every single time. And that was a big thing for us. And now I'm actually starting to show the residual effect of being the number one kind of search parameter in my area.
That's awesome. So how has becoming a constitutional carry state affected your business?
So there's so much confusion on that, Lisa. There's so much confusion because people really don't know the difference. Like they genuinely in their mind, somebody said, oh, you're permitless carry now. Okay, well, that's great. Well, that means I can go anywhere and do whatever. Like, no, the same stuff applied before. You had to be a legal, a citizen, not conducting criminal activity in the possession of a firearm. That hasn't changed, not one bit. But everybody down here is like, oh, it's the OK Gun Corral. I'm like, hey man, this ain't Georgia or Texas, right? We're not an open carry state. But down here, there has been a glitch slightly, but it doesn't. I don't think the problem here in Florida is our permitless carry. What we have down here is our market is so saturated with $20 classes that they give you, and they'll tell you 60 minutes, $20, you're in, you're out. You don't really shoot anything, but you qualify. And there's so many of them that you really have to like set yourself apart, and you got to dig in down here for the long haul. Because if you try to compete with those $20, $29.99 guys, you're going to be in and out. You won't make it here in Florida.
Can you do it online, or does it have to be in person?
You can do specific courses online, yes, but you have to have the material has to be provided. You can't just draw up your own stuff. Like, it has to be authorized. It has to be state authorized material. Obviously, NRA. If it's NRA, it's going to be approved.
Sure.
USCCA, obviously, they're creeping their way, as we all know, when it comes to the standards on what you can do. Because I know I've had a couple students who they sent me a notification. They were like, hey, the guy here at the Department of Agriculture said that your certificate you gave me, he had an issue with it, and it's because I printed off a USCCA one and not my NRA one. So then I would call and be like, hey, USCCA, they're an official, and I had to send them all the stuff, and they were like, oh, okay, we're sorry, we didn't know. But that's the difference down here.
Are you reselling your clients? Do you find that you can sell them over and over again, and even into a firearm?
So I would say, I remember I had a lieutenant when I was a police officer. We had this long conversation about business because he asked me about my business plan when I was getting ready to get started. And he said something that still resonates with me today. He said, you're not really in business until you have repeat customers. He said, until then, he said, you're just kind of doing a hobby. He said, but once you get and figure out how to get repeat customers, he goes, now you're in business. So when it came to the teaching aspect of it, I had my partner say, hey man, we're giving them so much information in 5 hours, because our minimal class is 4.5 hours. He says, we're giving them so much information that we're not forcing them to come back because they feel like they learned so much on that initial session with us. So that's kind of been where we've have to fine tune our curriculum and fine tune kind of what we do. But from the firearm standpoint, obviously, because I sell firearms and I sell firearms accessories, yes, that's the point to where now, almost a year into it, I'm starting to see kind of repeat customers or referrals from those customers.
That's fantastic. What is your biggest hurdle or the biggest mountain you're moving through right now?
I would say volume is probably the one thing that escapes me, and volume on a consistent level. Like they'll go, I'll go a couple of weeks where I'll have 6 or 7 students, locked in, and we'll get everything done and all that stuff. And then there'll be a dry spell, and then there'll be a period. And that's because, again, that's that wide casting net of just so many different kind of not just instructors but opportunities within this area. And that's kind of the challenge that I'm still trying to kind of put my finger on and say, okay, how do I get to that consistent volume month in and month out?
Well, I will tell you from experience that March and August are the hardest months for instructors. Like I went to the gym today, and usually we have a class of like 15 people, right? There's 3 people today. And it's just the end of the summer, and the sales just in general, typically from March and August, are always half of what they usually are on a normal basis, unless something scary has happened.
Yeah.
And fear drives our business, right?
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah,
1,000%.
but it does.
Yeah.
So, when Trump got hurt, my phone rang for a week, right? Now it's quiet again. So and I'm in the DC area. So anytime there's anything scary that happens in DC, we're really, we get busy. And I understand that. It kind of makes me sad in some ways, because I don't want to be fear driven. I want to be responsible driven. Like, you want to be a responsible gun owner, not, oh no, something bad happened down the street, let me go buy a firearm. I don't love that. But it is what it is. So are you spending any money on Google ads at all? I know you said you're increasing your platform and your footprint.
Right. So I have not started to put dollars to Google ads yet, because I figured out the 5-star review matrix. I found the cheat code. I found the cheat code in the 5-star. And for everybody else listening, that's one of the biggest secrets to the algorithm in Google. If you can get your 5-star reviews to actually increase tenfold to where every student or every customer that you deal with, they're giving you a 5-star review. Those reviews are what Google is pretty much using to push your actual you up, and as you continue to grow. So that was a big thing for us, was trying to say, okay, now that we've got it here, how do I grow this, right? Because we've only been doing this for a few months now, and automatic now. I had a woman call me yesterday. She wants to take a class. It's her first time. She hasn't shot in probably decades. She bought a gun, and it's been sitting in her closet for a year. And when I asked her, I said, so where did you find me? She said, Google. I pulled you up on Google and you popped up right away. I was like, thank you very much.
So for those who don't know what he's talking about your Google reviews, right? So I have 54 5-star reviews, which should be much higher. I'm not super aggressive on it, but every time somebody takes a class, at the end of the class, I think it's like 5 hours later, they get an email. Thank you for coming. Please give us a 5-star review. Here's a coupon. Thank you for your referrals, all of that. So this is what pushes you to the top. That and your map, your Google map. If you don't know anything about, make sure you're on a Google map, which is hard for firearm instructors because 90% of us do not have a location, right? We don't have a brick and mortar store like Vintage Arms does. They have a store they lock up every night. I don't have that. I work out of a range and on my living room couch. So, and then the other big things is getting verified. See this little tiny check right here?
Yep.
Getting verified.
Yep.
It is a process. It can take anywhere from a day to a month, depending on how you get verified. So I had they want you to go through the mail and enter a code, but I didn't have a brick and mortar. Yeah.
Lisa, guys,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
sorry, I'm gonna hop off. I
Okay.
apologize. Just
You're
one
okay.
thing I wanted to add to this thing. Amazon sells these Google either stickers or plastic things. They're amazing. Look up Vintage Arms on Google. You'll see the reviews. We make everybody, if they're happy or unhappy, doesn't matter. Click it. It makes it easy. They leave the reviews. And yes, after each class, they also get the automated email to go ahead and leave a feedback. So with that, I'm gonna say, talk to you later.
Bye.
Lisa, reach out to me. I'd love to connect.
Sure.
Take care. Bye-bye.
So this here, this check takes a little bit of time to verify yourself. So the biggest thing is Google. So you got to think about what the client is thinking or who your client is. So my client is the 55-year-old female, right? One, she's already nervous. She's already scared. She's Googling people to teach her guns, right? Like what's going on in her brain. So when you come up and you're on Google and you have what you called a footprint, I really like that, or a Google page, your business page, it brings credibility to your business. And then you have to have some kind of website. So what does your presence look like on Google, right? Or just hold on, let me pull up my site, right? So what does your presence look like on Google? Is it all tactical and scary for your client? Like, right? Like it's all black and everybody has an AR. Or is it friendly? Like, look, I got a little kid on mine, right?
That's funny. That is funny.
And then what I find the biggest hurdle is instructors make it so difficult to book a class. It's beyond, like, you go to sites and it's 15 clicks to book a class. I think part of our success was our consistency. Every Thursday and every Saturday, we have a class, a basic pistol class with Virginia CCW permit in it. Every single week, whether I have 1 student or 50 students. We rarely ever cancel classes unless it's weather. The last time we canceled a class, the range caught on fire. I couldn't do anything about it, right? But we're consistent all the time. They call me, when's your class? Thursday, Saturday. Our fast class is on Thursday. We call it an express course. It's 3 hours. Lecture, hands-on, range time. 90-minute lecture, hands-on for an hour, on the range for an hour, right? And then we have our typical NRA basics of pistol shooting course, which is like 7 hours every Thursday and Saturday. So they can come on our course calendar and just see that right away, right? Another big thing is actually buying a ticket, right? You have to be able to buy a ticket in a few clicks. So let me go back a page, right? So if they want to come and see a class, I don't know, whatever day this is, August 24th, right? They hit details. Here's the information. It's so clean and simple, right? Where's it at? How to get there? And register. And the register button is on every page, right? They don't make it hard. So we click that, email, registration page. That's it, right? Enter your credit card number. Everything is automated. They get an automated email, they get a ticket, they get a text message all at the same time. And then they get one the day before and the day of. Hi, we'll see you in 2 hours or whatever it is, right? That's it. We use Instructor Stash. I know I talk about this all the time. If you're not familiar, the big thing I like about Instructor Stash is you don't have to have a website, right? So if you're a new instructor, you got to get in the game, right? Getting in the game is getting something up online. If you don't want to spend $700, $1,500, $5,000 on a website, I use Instructor Stash until you grow out of it. Like on mine here. So this is my website, right? livefireInstruction.com. And at the bottom here, is Instructor Stash, which is, if you don't know what this is called, it's called an iframe. You put a little code in your website and all your tickets show up. So this is what I use. It's very simple. I like this because I can go on the back office here on the Instructor Stash back and see all my upcoming classes, how many people I have in it, how many upsells I have. Right? So this is a dummy account. It's a demo account. So they have 2 people registered for the 12th, right? Go in, manage your class, move clients around, move them to a different class. They're sick. They have to go somewhere. They do something else. It's that simple. And the other thing that I find with instructors is that a lot of them don't want to teach every Tuesday at 5 o'clock, but they want to have their presence online. So a lot of them use Instructor Stash and just they don't put a date and time or a map. They say, call us to book an appointment, because a lot of people do that. Mr. Cody, can you tell me a little bit about you? What are you doing?
My name's Cody Graska. I'm a certified NRA pistol instructor, just a basic out of Clearwater, Florida. And I've been teaching since 2020. I got in right after COVID. And I take off when I did a $40 Mother's Day special. I use Shoot Straight, and it's only $10 a student if I use their range. And it's $10 extra per student if I use their classroom. And usually I do kind of like a hybrid online, because in Florida you have to do at least 1 round minimum. I always give at least 10 rounds. So I do kind of like my own concealed carry classes.
Okay. How are you organizing and booking your students?
I can't pronounce the name. It starts with an A. It's like I can't pronounce it.
An A. Is that
It's
like
kind of like Calendarly or Calendarly. It's kind of like similar to that.
does your back office do all the automation?
Yeah, like they can pre-book, which I always make them prepay, because if not, they don't show up.
Yes,
So I
that is
always
a
get
must.
payment up front.
And how do you do your payments?
Through Square. It's through them, and they handle back end through Square.
And do you know what you pay for that?
It was like $15 a month, because I do Shoot Straight in Tampa, Sarasota, Lakeland. Shoot Straight is really good because I'm able to use all their ranges under my same insurance policy and whatnot.
Mhm.
So I'm kind of spread out. I used to have a brick and mortar business in Pinellas Park, but with the constitutional carry, things did slow down.
Mhm.
And like you said before, August, back to school, people are saving for school clothes and whatnot. I did over 800 students, mostly females.
Mhm.
So it's a really good business. It's slowed down. It's word of mouth. I had a lot of people from the courthouse, off-duty cops, they're just having fun. And then like some military, and I just tell them, hey, you can do your DD 214 papers, right? And they're like, oh, I'm like, you're already here, so we might as well refresh.
Mhm.
I do get repeat customers, because that's like you were saying before, you kind of grab them in with Google or Facebook, and you
Mhm.
pay that initial fee. And then once you take them off that platform, they're your customers. You don't have to pay any more fees on, you know what I mean, up
Mhm.
front.
Mhm.
And that's where I'm slacking. I use Facebook, but it's like $12 to get somebody in the door. And then with the range fees,
What do you mean
it
it's $12 to get somebody in the door on Facebook? I don't know what that means.
kind of like $12. I've seen if I spend $12, I usually snag somebody to book. But it takes me like $12 each student to actually get them to book.
I think you
Oh,
might be
your
referring
cost.
to like the marketing.
Yeah, your cost per transaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So it's high.
yeah, so I'm at 50 cents on Facebook.
That's really good.
You're not doing something right. Call
Right.
Facebook. Call Facebook. It's free. And get them to walk through why you're cost per transaction is too high.
Okay.
That's way too high. You
And
should be,
Groupon,
no,
sorry.
it's a joke.
Yeah, they want 50%,
Yeah.
like $60. And then I tried Simunition for nighttime students that
Uh-huh.
didn't handle the live fire requirement.
Uh-huh.
But Simunition's like $1 round. It's just too much. And I like to take them to the actual shooting range.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're on the right track. If you run women classes on Facebook and Google, you'll fill up. But you got to spend
Oh,
a
yeah.
little money. So I always say being a firearm instructor, it costs $6 a day, $3 for your website. We use Instructor Stash, and then $3 in a Google ad.
Okay. So I
So
have to get on Google.
yeah, so here's the thing with Google. Let me see if I can find my slide. I have a slide on Google. I actually have a phone number for them.
Sweet.
Is that it? There it is. There it is.
I'll go
Write that down.
screenshot. I
Yeah.
got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
So this was their offer they had. They still have this. So when you spend $500 in ads, they're going to give you $500 in ads, and call them and make an appointment, and they'll walk you through everything. They'll walk you through your Google footprint, your setup, your store, your online presence. And the same with Facebook. I don't know if I have Facebook on here. But the same with Facebook. So we'd get about 433,000 impressions on our Google ad.
That's nice.
It is. So we do not do calls. Like you can set up on Google that it'll call you. And we don't, I'm super busy on the range. So we have a automated text messaging. Everybody got that? Let's see. And then we already talked about Instructor Dash. Instructor Dash is our platform we use. It's gun friendly. It's for firearm instructors. There's no additional fees. Some people use shootingclasses.com for their registrations, and it's $10 a ticket. Yeah, Instructor Dash doesn't do that. It's really great.
Okay.
All right. What else we got? Let me pick on somebody else. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do we have Jack? Jack, are you with us?
Yes.
Hi, Mr. Jack.
Can you hear me?
Hi. Yeah.
Alright.
Tell me about you. Tell me, where are you at?
I'm in Central Arkansas, Little Rock area, and being a firearm instructor, I'm a retired police officer, and so that's where I got my firearms instructor, and been doing that on the side of the concealed handgun permit aspect of it, and
Mhm.
teaching people basic handgun training. I got in on the ground floor of the Instructor Dash, and when y'all first got that out with Jay, and been working using that. I haven't. I've got a Google Facebook Google page, but I haven't done the ads yet. I didn't know it's that cheap, to be honest with you, because they send me that $500 all the time, and I more or less ignore it. But I am. This has encouraged me to go ahead and sort of pursue. I've got a Facebook also, but I don't get a lot of referrals from Facebook or Google, to be honest with you. But I do the ads, and I will be doing the ads, and I'm going to see if that's a difference. You could ask the person from Florida about the constitutional carry aspect, and that has hurt my business and other instructors here in Arkansas. We get all the, why should I pay you to get my CCW when I can just carry open, or they've got it here where you can carry distilled without a permit. And so that has hurt my business and other instructors, we don't have the biggest thing or the biggest draw or aspect of it. What I try to do when they ask me is, well, the guy who does the Constitution, the carrying out, I support 100%. I spent my whole life supporting the Constitution. But what I tell them is, those guys ain't got no training. I said they go out with a buddy in the backyard, go for beer cans, and with your concealed carry, at least 6 hours of basic, and then we go our enhanced, which is 8 hours. And there we talk about use of force, we talk about just basic handgun information about trigger pull, how automatic works, revolver works, basics aspects of that. I said the constitutional carry person, carrying a Forbes holster, nylon holster, you can tell, and I said they're not trained. They don't know how to make a decision to shoot or not shoot.
Yeah, absolutely. If you check in the chat box, I just put in a PDF there. This is from USCCA. It's a constitutional or permanentless carry guide to help you increase some of your business in those particular states. So click on that, download that, read that later. That's straight from USCCA. It is some marketing techniques and things like that to get your students to come in and not, have the mentality of like, I don't need training. I can just do this anyway. In Virginia, you can open carry in Virginia. And I tell my students, the only people who open carry in Virginia is police officers and assholes, right? It's true. Like, we're in like the DC area. Like, you're gonna walk in. Yeah. Like, you can't walk into Walmart with your open carry and freak.
Yeah, and I tell people, and I tell them, I said, if you walk into a convenience store and you got an open carry, guess who's good? The bad guy going to shoot first, and then ask questions later.
Yes.
I said, you're targeted with that thing. I said, with concealed carry, you make that decision whether you want to involve yourself or not involve yourself. Be a good witness. If you're not being, if he's not focusing on you, be a good witness. And but if he turns, then you have an option to defend yourself. So,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm teaching my class. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're good. What are your biggest hurdles that you need to work through, or do you have any questions?
I need to work more in the instructor dash. Get more used to using, like I need to set up the work days. That's something I thought about the other day. And I need to get with their support staff and have them walk me through anniversaries. I got a lot of old students that I need to reconnect with. That I do a lot of renewals now, but I need to get how to do the birthday thing. I think that would be, very hook.
So in instructor stash, in instructor stash, if you turn on the text messaging function, it does it automatically to any students that you currently have.
Okay.
You don't have to do it. You just have to click a button. And I think it's 3 cents. I think it's 3 cents a text message or something ridiculous like that.
Okay. Yeah, it's something. Jay threw out a number like when he was giving Star instructions on that. But that's something I'm going to try to start branching off into and get my name back out in there to the points I'm having. So
the new feature in Instructor Sesh I really like is you don't have to put any more dates in. So let's just say you want to be an NRA basic instructor, right? If you want to teach the NRA basics of pistol course, right? You don't have to put a date on. You could put in your function called to schedule a class, right? Then you're not committed to anything, and then it can stay up for a long time.
Okay.
So that's a new feature in there that for people who aren't teaching regularly, but still want a solid presence on the internet.
Okay, I'll try that.
Yeah.
Change that aspect of it.
Yeah. And if you want a one-on-one, just go under the help function and book a private one-on-one, and they'll walk you through anything.
Okay, cool. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Let's pick on.
I think you're muted, Lisa.
I totally am. Hey, how are you?
Good.
Good. Where are you calling from?
I'm from North Alabama.
North Alabama. Well,
Yes,
welcome.
ma'am.
All right. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What are you teaching?
My name is Zachary. I'm a newer instructor, less than 2 years. I'm with USCCA. We're mainly doing basic handgun, and then as well as I've been doing CPR classes to get more people into my business, and know where about, and hopefully we can spread from there.
What are your, do you have to have a permit to carry in Alabama?
So we just went to permitless carry. We've never had to have training to get a permit. It's never been required. So marketing is 100% of what it's going to keep, business going.
Okay. What is your presence online looking like now?
So I have a USCCA page. Has been bringing some students. I have a Facebook page, and I've been posting events into local groups, and that's been bringing business. I have a temporary website through Square that I just started with. I haven't got anything through there yet because I just started it, and then I'm working on making it a full website.
Okay. And then how are you keeping track of your students on the back end?
Right now, just through USCCA. They don't charge anything for their system, and they refund you the cost of, they use Stripe.
Yeah, I get my $50 check every month from them for my fees. I think that's funny. They're trying really hard to get instructors. I like USCCA. I think they've come a long way in the last 4 or 5 years. They have a new director of education and training, and he's kind of taken a step back and focused on some fundamentals, which I think they jumped over like right out the gate. They were teaching defensive pistol to new shooters, and I think it was too aggressive. So I know they've come out with their kid program, their basic fundamentals program, and I think they have another one coming out as well.
Yeah, they have the defensive pistol program that's in the works right now that I hopefully you can get on board with.
Yeah. If you're building a website, you might want to consider Instructor Stash to do all your transactions and stuff on the back end to keep everybody organized and all your classes. So look at them if you are still in the process. What else? I wanted to do one more thing. Who is your basic clientele at this point, since you are a permitless carry?
Just anyone who's new to shooting that hasn't started yet. Trying to get people that recommend that they need training, that it's not required by law, that it's something that you should have. It's not something that you can just go out the door with. Like I said, I've had a lot of success with people searching on USCCA, word of mouth, and people finding it on Facebook groups.
Okay. Well, congratulations. Get an ad running, and you'll see that increase, and then see if you can partner with any other like gun shops, like referring business back and forth. That's what I do. I have a couple of them that works really well.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else? Any questions or anything before we say good night here in a couple of minutes?
Yeah, Lisa, I got a quick question for you. So this is Alex again out of Tampa. Obviously, there's been significant change over the past few years, meaning from within us, within the instructor community. There's just so much kind of back and forth, if you would. Look, NRA, when I got my NRA certification years ago, as you're a training counselor, you're familiar. The training counselor program, kind of was the standard of what everybody achieved and strived to get to. Well, we realized quickly, hey, that needed some adjustments and we had to change that. And now USCCA, they have suspended their training counselor program because they're also trying to go back to the drawing board and figure out what a training counselor is, kind of what that baseline foundation is. So in reading your book, there's a couple things that stuck out to me right away. And obviously my background and all the things that I've done, I can tell you're incredibly passionate about what it is that you do, which is one of the keys for any business venture, no matter what it is, whether you're selling ice cream cones on a corner or you're going to sell armored tanks tomorrow. It's your passion. I could read that in all of your chapters as you were writing that book and as you were putting that together. But for many of us instructors out here that don't have that bandwidth that you do, we don't see that volume that you have, because you've gotten over that initial hurdle and now you're a name brand. But how do you merge that initial kind of gateway kind of problem where you run into so many different obstacles with resisting that initial temptation of, one, undercutting yourself by going too cheap, and then two, by not tying in, you said something at the very beginning, which is tying into today's automation world. And I think many instructors today, and it took me a little bit to kind of overcome this as well. Because I got adult kids. I've got my kids like teaching me on Instagram. So today was my Instagram class with my 27-year-old daughter who's a flight attendant. She was teaching me how to work Instagram to where my company can start to really kind of layer itself to where I'm getting large amounts of volume through Instagram to where I can get that type of stuff. So what would be your advice for us instructors that are trying to figure out how to break that numbers game that you've been able to accomplish?
So I think the fear of not eating or losing your house was a big motivation for me. Like, if you don't make this work, you're not going to have dinner. And if you don't figure this out, your kid's going to go in daycare and you're going to work 10 hours a day and not be a mom. So I would say fear drove me in the first 2 years until we did get over it. And I will tell you what I did. I would start, okay, so see my little piece of paper here? It's got, maybe not, it's got 4 X's on it. So I would start here, 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 and here. Every week for a year, I would go on the road and go to every gun store and every range and bring Subway with me and make friends with the manager and the staff for a year. I probably bought 200 Subway sandwiches to come in. Hi, how are you? What's going on? What are your promotions? Can I leave my flyers? And then I would drive all the way up the turnpike. Then I would go all the way over to another store. Then I would get on 495 and drive all the way to Fairfax. And then I would hit 2 gun stores there, and I would hit the NRA range. And then I hit Silver Eagle Group range. And then I would drive all the way back to Manassas to my local range here. I did legwork. I think that was my biggest for me to be where I am. I think that was part of it, is that, one, I was fear driven, which is probably wasn't healthy, but 2 was making friends with people. And our industry is so small, it's so tiny. Everybody knows everybody. One thing goes wrong, everybody knows, right? So I think that was my biggest success, because I didn't have Google then. My website looked like My child did it. It was terrible. It was so hard to book a class on it. But you have to have grit. You have to be gritty, and you have to be willing to fail and fail forward. That's what I always say. I always tell my kid, it's okay to fail. Fail forward and fail fast. Fail fast. If you're going to fail, do it quickly and cheaply, right?
Yeah,
Learn
yeah,
and grow.
good. That's good. Yeah.
So I think that was a big part. So we grew, we took money that we made, especially during COVID, and we went and bought some rental properties with it. So we took that and we reinvested into ourselves. Because I can't be a firearm instructor forever, right? I mean, I'm going on 10 years. I'm tired. Right? I'm tired of handing strangers loaded guns, right? That's what we do for a living.
Yeah.
So we took that money and we went and bought Instructor Stash. Jay, the old owner, was ill, and we bought it from him. We revamped it. So we're just taking our first step, which was live fire instruction, and growing so we can have generational wealth and pass on to our children things that we worked hard for. When my dad died, he left me a lamp. I don't want that for my kids. So I'm trying to, there's a Bible scripture that says, give and it shall be given to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, God, where am I going? So I am giving back to our gun community. Even there's only 8 people on here, that to encourage them to go and grow and answer questions. Nobody answered questions for me. I was a threat. Like, somebody called me a slug. You're a slug. You just want to suck off my clientele. I was like, you don't even know how to respond to that. So we're just giving back and letting people grow so you guys can go do the same thing. You guys can go and mentor new instructors.
So here's my question for you there, training counselor. I've got, my website. I've had my website for a while. I use GoDaddy. We first started with Wix because my partner is pretty savvy. He's got an electrical engineering degree, so he's pretty savvy on that side of it. He's my number side of things. I'm more of the, I'm a retired and enlisted first sergeant, so I'm more of the people type of person here on our side. So we use GoDaddy for the site. Now I do use the USCCA page for the instructor portion of things, and then for my e-commerce platform where my company is, my store is, because it's an online store. That's set up by a third-party vendor. So I didn't have to crack the wheel on that. That's already done. I pay a monthly fee and I get all the stuff. You have to have a business license. You have to have all the stuff. You have to register with the county and all the taxes and all that. You understand all the business side. So I had to do all that legwork up front before launching my e-commerce platform where, I sell all the stuff. So would you be willing, afterward, because obviously there's other people on here with other things they need to talk to you about, if I sent you the link to get to my website, my actual business main website, would you be willing to look at it and give me a few pointers and say, hey, can you fix this, Alex, or look at this, or look at that?
So I do this a lot. I call it first look. So I record it live, like I log onto your page and just talk through what I see right away.
Okay.
Like, it's very first impression. So I don't look at it beforehand and I tell you if things are complicated or too dark or too tactical, or, but part of that is knowing who your target audience. And for me, what you've been saying is that your target audience is the first time user and first time gun owner.
Yep. Correct.
First time purchases. Okay.
Yeah.
I would be happy to do that. And I'll just send you a link.
Yeah, please do.
Can you put your email in the chat box?
Yeah, I could do that right now.
Yeah. All right. Let me grab Zach, and then I told you we'd be done about 8. Mr. Zach, what you got for me? Your hand's raised.
So I just you're talking about teaming up with local gun stores, and majority of I haven't tried any of the small pawn shops, but other the big box gun stores in our area all have their own employee in-house instructors. And I was wondering if you've dealt with that problem, if you're able to overcome that and still be able to partner with them.
Hold on, let me write this down. Okay, so yes, that is a thing. That is a whole lesson. I'm gonna put this in the chat here. If you want some additional training, which talks about range relationship and gun store relationship, it is, here's the link, it's in the chat box. There's a 75% off code there. I think it's like $6 or $8 for training. Like, it's 2 hours of training, comes with workbook and stuff. But my biggest thing is I don't want to be a direct competitor for what they teach. So if you're teaching something they're not, you're less of a threat to them or stealing their business. So if you, like, I have a relationship with Cabela's, right? And it took a long time to get that. That was not easy. And basically what that is my flyers are on their counters. That's it. And 4 times a year, I come in for free and teach their clientele a basic shooting course. But there's no shooting, it's just lecture, right? The base fundamentals class, essentially, safety class. And I do that for free, but that was part of our agreement that I was allowed to put my stuff on your counter and I'm going to give back to you. So you have to kind of find a win-win. So do you have any like local gun stores, like mom and pop stores?
Yes, like I said, they all have their own in-house instructors.
Well, you might want to think a little bit creative and see what they're teaching and what you can give them. So if you're going to give them 20 clients a month, that's a big deal to them. So on my website, I have a partners tab. These are all the people we partner with. I don't recommend anybody else. I don't recommend people go to Cabela's. I think they're expensive and there's a 5-hour wait just to get help. And most of the guys in the counter are going to tell me to buy a double action revolver because I'm a chick. Point and shoot, right? So you're going to need to do a little homework, figure out what they're teaching, how much they're teaching, like how often, what their price point is, and bring value to them. So if you let me do this, I'm going to do this and this. Like put them on your website as a referred client and only refer stuff to them. And when you give back to the range and the gun stores, they have like they see value in you. Like we work at a range. I probably bring them 5,000 clients a year. Like they don't have to pay for anything. I have to pay for my rent, right? I have to pay for my room, and they pay range fees, and they get they don't go anywhere else. When you bring a new client to a range, that's it. That's their home forever. So you have to bring value to them and figure out what that is.
Awesome. Thank you for the information.
Yeah, copy this link in the text here. It's called Bullseye Business Blueprint. It's like $6 with the code. You can't go wrong. It's this training, it's live, and we did it in the fall. It's really great. It covers everything.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Anything else, guys? We're about 7 minutes over. I would be happy to answer any other questions. We're going to do this every Monday. Oh, hi, Roger. I didn't say hi to Roger. Roger's one of my guys. Hi, Mr. Taylor. Hi, Roger.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. It's good to see you.
Oh, same here.
You're so handsome.
Thank you. Oh, I do have a question as far as the gun store.
Did you text me today?
I did about the instructor dash. If has anyone ever asked for a receipt when they pay?
The receipt's sent to them automatically.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so they get 2 emails. They get a receipt email, and then they get whatever you put in your email description, like come at 7 o'clock, bring your gun, leave in your car, bring lunch, whatever that is. So yes, they automatically get that. And if you turn on the text messaging function, they'll get it in your text message as well.
Now that text messaging function,
Mhm.
it doesn't allow you to put the amount. When I go up there, it says straight like $50.
I'm sorry, say that again.
You have to put in an amount for the text messaging. It's
Oh,
right at
You're on your account?
Yeah, it won't let you change it. Let's say if I want to do $30, but it won't let me go.
I'll take a look at that. I'll take a look for you when I get off.
Okay. As far as a trying to partner with a gun store, it's one here. I'm from Suffolk, Virginia.
Uh-huh.
There's one gun store here. They teach the CCW classroom thing for like the 2 hour thing. So I went in there one day and I said, "Oh, so I see you advertising your CCW course." I said, "Do you guys go to the range?" He said, "No, it's a non-shooting course." I said, "Look, man, I'm a certified NRA instructor. Can I leave my information? You can come send them to me, and I can take them to the range and teach them how to shoot." "No, I can't do that. I can't do that." I'm like, "What? Huh?" It's like, "Nah, can't do that. Your range got to be certified and this and that." And he said, "Nah, I can't send nobody to you, man." I said, "Wow." So I do not. And the thing is, I'm like, "Man, I've purchased firearms from you,
Mhm.
Yeah, but not no more.
So
You won't get another day."
you have to build relationship with them. Don't say no. You know how many people told me no before they said yes? They're
I,
gonna
I,
say no.
I've tried.
Take
I've
them to
tried.
lunch. Just be friends.
I've tried.
Yeah, go build relationships. Ask them like, "Hey, let me take you to grab a sandwich and tell me about your business." That's it. And build business with I can't express this enough. Our industry is 90% good old boy club, and you got to get in the club.
He seemed to strike me that way. I didn't want to judge from the cover, the type of person he is, but
He don't know you. You could be crazy, and he doesn't want to send his clients to you, right?
but
So you got to build relationships. Go in twice a month. Just go shoot the shit with them. That's it. And then build relationships, and then it'll naturally happen. Like when you start serving, give, and it shall be given to you. Go and bring this man lunch. Talk to him, and then you can send all your clients to him, and he sends all his clients to you.
I'm gonna try it and see what happens.
Okay.
So
All
I don't
right.
plan on buying any more guns from him.
See, that's you got to buy guns. You got to buy your stuff from him. Like your face, you got to show your face in his shop all the time. Like when I don't go to my stores for like a month, they yell at me like, where you been? You didn't bring us lunch. So you gotta show face and build relationships and be easy.
I'm gonna give it a try.
Okay. All right. All right. What else we got? Anybody else? Last calling. Yeah. Cody, are you waving bye? Or you got a question?
I
Okay.
have a question.
Oh yeah.
I've been up all night, so I'm exhausted. I do Lyft and Uber as well, and then I used to drive semi trucks over the road across the country. But on your instructor dash, do you have any like backdoors, like click funnels, or is it kind of like, I know you said a upsell where you can do ammo or anything you pretty much want?
So, okay. So that was a really big question. So I use Go High Level, which is ClickFunnels. It's just another, if you're familiar with them. My
Yeah, I heard of them.
GHL, Go High Level, is connected to my Instructor Dash account. That's
All
something
right.
I
So
did separately. Like yes, you can do it. I don't advertise that. That's a lot of work. Like
yeah, I understand.
it is. But I
So
hired somebody on Fiverr to do it for me. You're talking like a month of work to set up your funnel. All right, let me share my screen. If you guys don't know what a funnel is, let me show you real quick. It's called a sales funnel, right?
and you fine-tuned it so it works perfect. You took all the hard work out of it and you made your own for us to buy. That's sweet. I like
So
that.
yes, no, yes. I don't want to sell something. Hold on, hold that thought real quick. So this is the email I just gave you guys, right? Bullseye Business Blueprint. This is called a sales funnel. I'm giving you all my secrets. Okay, this is my sales funnel, right? This is a funnel or a website that I sell my training on, right? I sell my training for $27. I gave you guys a 75% off coupon because you supported me and came to my live class, right? So this is called a sales funnel. Once somebody gets logged into this, like they buy my product, they get into a sales, an email funnel, which will send you an email like every week or whatever, talking about additional training, instructor's dash, things like that. So this is where our automation comes from. So when we sell our product, they get into that automation. Now, instructor's dash, it's a booking platform. It's for
Okay.
booking and selling your classes. Now, the automation part in it is when they buy something, all that automation is there. The ticket sales, the communication, the actual ticket itself, the information you need to communicate with them, the text messaging functions. So on there, these are some of our automation. It's not ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels
Oh.
is like $500 a month kind of platform. This would be like the Eventbrite, but Eventbrite's really expensive. Eventbrite, it charges like 10% per ticket. They're crazy, right? So
Yeah.
this does, and the big thing about this, it has abandoned cart email that goes out. Hey, you typed in your email address, but you left and you didn't, so it'll send them an email. Hey, you didn't complete your payment, or hey, we want you to come to our class, right? So that
Yeah.
is the big part about this, that it's very simple, and it does some SEO stuff on it, which does,
Sweet.
yeah. So this is what we use. It works good. I don't have any complaints. And this is what, if you don't have a website, this is what it looks like without a website. If you have a website, it looks like this.
Okay. Yeah, with the copy and paste HTML.
Right. So this is the iframe that we
API.
drop into my site. If you don't have a site, like you're just starting, you'll have like codeg.instructors-.com or whatever you want it to be. And then you
Okay.
can still start a business and not cost you a fortune to build a website or all that stuff. Everything is done for you. And a big part we're working on now, our next we are working on blogs. Couldn't think of it. Blogs, because when you start writing blogs, the SEO start building, right? And then that's free advertising to your page. And that's a big deal for us because a lot of people don't want to pay for advertising. I get that. So when you write a blog about basic pistol course in Texas, right? Like people will start
Yeah.
finding your pages faster and basically for free. So that's our
Okay.
next feature. We're hoping to have that out in mid-September, hopefully.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll probably have a couple more questions next Monday about something for I get a lot of mothers and they see when they do the hybrid online. I have a picture of my son and I'm like, kids can shoot two at that particular range. There's really no age limit. So they're curious. But the Eagle guy with NRA,
Eddie Eagle?
yeah, it
Yeah.
was so like basic, like I couldn't use that. And then it's like part of the NRA, so I'm kind of like doing my own thing. So
Okay, so I have a lot to say on that. One, Eddie Eagle is the safety. Stop, don't touch, run away, tell a grown up. It's not shooting. It's the opposite of shooting.
ah,
Stop, don't touch, run away, tell a grown up. That's what Eddie
okay,
Eagle is. And it's a cartoon and it's great. It's 8 minutes long. Find it on YouTube. But then I would teach them first steps, NRA first steps course, which you're already certified to teach them. You just go download it from your,
instructors.
yeah, your instructor portal. And then I have about 10 is kind of my cutoff. I don't like to teach under 10 unless like there's special
Yeah,
circumstances. And then they can take a first steps course, an hour and a half of lecture, hands-on. You're going to put them in a chair and bench them and let them shoot. And if they do 20, 30 rounds on their butt, then let them stand up but we do a lot of, I call it a junior shooter. And it's,
Okay.
they're not drawing, they're not walking, it's just, most of them start with 1 round. You hand them a gun,
Right.
you get 1 round, right?
Exactly. And that's what I do to see their reaction with the recoil and whatnot. And then if they can handle it, I'll put 5,
Right.
a
Yeah,
Glock
you gotta build that.
44.
And they always, always, always start with the 22.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Always. There's
I
no
don't stress
exception
that
to that.
enough.
Right.
Right. So I still have a lot of learning to do as far as, the back end of the NRA and whatnot. I still haven't taught any NRA classes. So I mean, 800 students, I could snag them in there because I want to do the when I had the office, it would have been perfect. Because it's what, like, I forget, because you had to go to Virginia to get certified. I made my 2-year mark. I'm almost the 4-year mark. And then after so many classes, I think it's like 100 classes or something, and then you can go 200.
And it's less than that. I think they change it all
50.
the time, but I think it's 20.
Okay.
I think it's
Oh
20
wow.
classes and 50 students. That the last time I
Yeah.
looked, that's what it was.
Okay. It's just such a long class to
It's
really
like
do
6
anything
days.
for Florida.
It's
Yeah.
6 days, and you have to come up. The class itself is like $700, and then you have to get a hotel and food and fly
Right.
or drive. Right, it's a lot. And then it has like a 60%, a 40% fail rate, 60% that pass.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
So it's
Um,
hard. It's difficult. We make very good training counselors. And I forget who mentioned that the USCCA suspended their training counselor program because what they were doing is just whoever came out, they made a training counselor. You sat through the 3-day class and congratulations, you're a training counselor, because they were desperate to grow and it worked. But now they have crappy TCs because they're not trained well and they're not experienced in the product.
right. They're just money hungry and trying to get the money and not really the teaching aspect, I think.
I think
That's exactly correct. It was a money grab.
and
Yeah.
they were very successful at it.
Right.
But now they're kind of backing up and taking some steps back, and I think they flooded their market with training counselors, and I don't really like how they do that. I am not a USCCA training counselor. I didn't like the fact that I didn't have to meet any objectives to be a TC.
Okay. Yeah, and a lot of people were taking both classes. I did the NRA, and then those guys were like, "Hey, let's go over there to the USCCA," and it was like $600-700, and I was like, I'm all right.
Mhm.
I'm happy with my NRA thing. And then I do US Law Shield too. I'm a rep for them as well, just to sell their self-defense insurance. And then it's like $30 a pop, and then they changed it around. They called me up and they was like, "Well, we'll give you like $100 a month." And I was like, "Well, I'd rather get these sealed per,
Sure.
because of
So
the
if you,
students."
right, if you, what is that called? Uh, affiliate. Thanks, honey. When you want to be an affiliate, there are much better provide insurance companies that do better than US Law Shield. And I'm a zero fan of US Law Shield, like a zero fan. But there are, just Google affiliate programs for carry insurance, and there are other programs out there. I have a friend in Florida who makes $1,000 a week off of just their
Wow.
affiliate program, and he just left US Law Shield, and now he does another one. I'm sorry, I forget which
Yeah,
one he
it's
does.
probably my guy from Fort Myers. I think his name's Chris. He's a retired Leo with down there on Fort Myers,
It
right to
is
Bear
Chris.
Arms.
It is
Yep.
Chris.
Yeah, that was my guy. He signed me up with the US Law Shield a
Yeah,
while
me,
back.
me and Chris just started doing some business together. I really like him.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a
a good
good guy.
Okay.
But I
Anybody else?
appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. All right, guys, I guess that's it. I'll see you next Monday if we're going to talk about some other stuff. Bullseye Business Blueprint is the links in the comments here. Save 75% if you want more training faster to get up and running. And you guys have my email address. hit me up if you need anything.